Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? Oh my God, I am so tired, you guys. It is 4:43 a.m. and I just woke up about 15 minutes ago and I took the dogs out. And I was like laying there in bed. I was so comfortable. And I was like, I kind of for a second thought I had already done my vlog. And I was like back in bed. And I was like, I haven't even vlogged today yet. I was like, oh my God, I have to go vlog. I have to go vlog. So, I like got up real quick and I took the dogs outside. And then I got in the car, grabbed my fanny pack, my trusty fanny pack, and my camera. And I was like, okay, let's go. And then, I was heading down the street, and I was like, did I even post my vlogs? Because earlier, I realized that I filmed this Peterisms video today, and I realized when I went to dinner tonight that I hadn't posted my Peterisms video. So, then tonight, and I had decided that I was just going to save it for tomorrow. And then tonight, when I got in the car to vlog, I was like, did I even post yesterday's vlog? And yesterday's vlog was really long. It was, like over an hour and a half. And I was like, and it had been ready since like noon. And I was like, damn. So, there's that. And I still haven't posted it because I have to post it from home because I haven't like finalized the description box and all this kind of stuff. So when I get home, I will do that. But this is gonna be a short vlog tonight because I need to go home and get some sleep because I've got 1,000 things to do tomorrow. So yeah, there's that. And then that's about it. What did I do today? What did you do today, Peter? Well, let's see. Now I'm trying to think back on what I did today. Oh, I got up and I went and met with one of my friends. I'm trying not to say like sober friends or recovery friends anymore. But I went and met with one of my friends for like 2 hours. We had coffee at Starbucks. And that was really fun. We sat outside though and it was really cold today. It is like 45 degrees right now. It was cold where we were sitting. And of course I'm the one that chose it. So we're sitting there and I had like shorts on and like Birkenstock sandals, and there were like no tables to sit at inside, so we were kind of like stuck there. And he was like, are you cold? And I was like, no. It was cold though. At the end I finally was like, I'm cold. Can we go? He was like, yeah. So that was that, and that was fun. And then, what did I do after that? Then after that, I had a few things I needed to go pick up, so I went and ran around and did that. And then I did, I did some errands. And then I came home. Tanya had this like speaking engagement thing that she was doing tonight. And she was speaking at like something, but she could only bring like one person with her. So, and it was like more about like, you know, like women. And so she took a friend of hers, this woman that I'm friends with as well. And so she's like, do you want to meet us for dinner afterwards? And I knew that Alex was meeting his grandma and his mom. They were going to like some concert at this place called the Palladium in Carmel. I don't know what concert they were seeing, but they play like a lot of like Sting plays there. It's a lot of more like music like that, and which like Sting, whatever. But like, I mean, I love Sting, but it's kind of like softer music. It's where we go to that thing every year that they have, where they have like the, you know, the world's best singers or whatever. singing competition. And then they've had a few like really big deal like Latino singers. So I don't know, I'm thinking maybe it was something like that. So Alex went and had dinner with them first. And then afterwards, I texted him and I was like, hey, what are you doing when you come home? And he was like, I don't really have any plans. Why? And I was like, because Tanya asked if I want to go out to dinner with her and so, like my other friend. And he was like, yeah. He was like, just go ahead, babe, and have fun. Because I was going to be going at like the same time that he was coming home. So then he said he was going to go over to his friend's house, and Sarah was going to be over there too. And they were just going to hang out. So, so that's when he came home for a couple minutes while I was getting ready to go to dinner. And I was like really running behind today because I wanted to like do my hair and all this kind of stuff, but I just didn't have time. So then I went and picked up Tanya and our friend, and we went to, where did we go? Oh, we went to Red Robin. So we didn't really know where to go for dinner. We were like driving around, and I was like, okay, Tanya, where do you want to go? And there's this Mexican restaurant that I like called Chewy's. It's in Hamilton Town Center on the north side of Noblesville in Indianapolis. And she's like, well, I don't really want to go there. And then she's like, well, what about, we used to go to this restaurant called El Camino in Noblesville back in the day. And I was like, well, if we're going to go to, and it's literally like not the greatest Mexican food in the entire world. I mean, like, I think my combined bill ever was like less than $10. And it's just, it's fine, but it's just as, you pay for what you get, you know what I mean? It just isn't that great. And I said, but if we're gonna go to have Mexican, why don't we just go to Chewy's? Because it's more like Tex-Mex. And in all honesty, it's a little bit easier for me to go there and not just get a bean burrito. There's like other things on the menu that I can get as a vegetarian. And she was like, well, she's like, let's just not do Mexican then. And then I was asking my friend, I was like, our other friend, I was like, what do you want to get? And she's like, I don't care, I'm totally up to you guys. So totally up to you guys. And I was like, okay. So then I was like, we were going to go to Aspen Creek. And then she's like, didn't you just go there with Alex and his family? And I was like, yeah, but I don't remember. I think that was where we were supposed to go. Because she kept on saying, well, what did you get that night? What did you get that night? And I was like, Tanya, I don't remember what I got. And then I pulled up the menu because I said, well, let's go to Red Robin. I think we went to Red Robin that night. I think that's the night we went to Red Robin. I'm almost positive now. Because I pulled up the menu to Aspen Creek and like nothing on there looked like anything that I ordered. It was like salads and steaks and chicken and stuff like that. They had like meatloaf on the menu. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what I ordered on here. She's like, well, you went there with Alex and his family after the pumpkin patch. And I was like, did I? I said, I feel like we went somewhere else. And that was the night that we went to Aspen Creek, and then they told us that they wouldn't set our table for us because they were rude. So we went to Red Robin, and they seated us in the back where it was absolutely ice cold and we were all just freezing. But I did get take-home drinks. Here's mine, and then I have Tanya's right here. You can see this is about as much of a drink that she drinks. So we'll happily drink hers though. So that was that. And then yeah, we had fun. And then Tanya and I had to go drop our friend off afterwards. And she lives kind of like, she lives like same side of town but kind of far away. And so we had to drive her over there, and that was fun. We were like telling stories and stuff in the car. It was fun. And then afterwards, Tanya and I drove around, but like, or didn't drive around, we drove back to her house. And I mean, literally on that way back from our friend's house, Tanya and I were like both about to fall asleep in the car. I said, Tanya, I could go to sleep right this second. And it was like 10:30 or something. And she's like, I know, I could too. And she's like, I just cannot wait to get home. I'm so tired. So I got home and I left the dogs out. Alex was still at his friend's house. And I was like, I thought he was gonna be there for a while. So I texted him, I was like, I'm laying down with, you know, the babies, and I'll see you when you get home. He was like, okay. I said, I'm laying down for an hour. And that was at like, well, I don't even know what I set my alarm for. I feel like that was like, I set it for like 12:30 or 12:45 or something, and I was like, I'm gonna get up and vlog for like an hour, and then I'm gonna come back and go to bed, and I'll be in bed by like 2 o'clock. That didn't happen, did it? And so I started falling asleep, and as soon, our dogs are so loud, you guys, like so loud when somebody comes like to the door. Even if somebody's just standing out the door, they're so loud. And so I just started falling asleep, and as soon as and like Boo Radley was sitting right in front of me, and PP was kind of like in my arms. As soon as I started to fall asleep, I could kind of hear Alex's car coming down the street, because he listens to, you know, to electronic dance music, like really loud, and I could kind of hear this like, and all of a sudden, like, and Tucker's always the one that hears him first. Tucker started, he was like, oh, and so like they ran downstairs, and then Alex came in, and he came upstairs and gave me a kiss, and he was being real sweet and stuff like that. But he was like changing with the what do you call it, the flashlight on his phone. Well, does your husband or wife do that? Okay, this drives me crazy. My husband does this all the time. I always just use the light from my phone like this when I'm coming upstairs. You know, it's enough for me to see. And he straight on puts that flashlight on. Now, if you've never seen this flashlight, I mean, it's irritating as hell, okay? And then it's over on the walls, and it's like shadowing off and stuff, and it's like, and so if I turn, it's like in my eyes. I'm like, babe, can you like turn that light down? So tonight I didn't say anything, because he was like, you know, change. That's what I usually say. It's like, babe, can you like turn that light down, or turn it over there, or whatever? Because it like casts these huge shadows around there. I mean, it literally looks like somebody like brought a candle into like, or some huge flashlight, you know, into this old abandoned house. So tonight, so tonight he comes into the room, and I'm like 5-10 minutes go by, and he's still got the light on. I go, are you doing laundry over there? He goes, no. And I go, what are you doing? He was like, well, I was looking through stuff. Why? And I go, can you please turn off your flashlight? Like, it is so bright in here. He goes, oh, I totally forgot about it. I still had it on. Because he was sitting there for so long at the edge of the bed, and I was like, and so then he started laughing, and he got in bed. But then I fell asleep all over again, and then my alarm went off, and then by the time that my alarm went off, he was asleep, and he was like, babe, can you turn the alarm off, please? I was like, yeah. So I turned it off, and I kept my hand on it. I don't know why. And I was like, okay, the next time it goes off, I'm gonna get off. But I like turned to my alarm off, so there was no like it was gonna turn back on again or go off again. Decisions you make when you're half asleep, you know what I mean? So I was like, oh well, it is what it is. I'll be super tired tomorrow, it's okay. So that was my real exciting day. Last night, I started, after I got done vlogging, I started listening to the audiobook for, was it last night that I started listening to it? I don't know. Iceman Confessions about Richard Kuklinski or whatever his name is. He's real sick, isn't he? So, if you guys don't know anything about him, Mel picked this book because she loves to read stuff about organized crime and the mafia and whatever. And October is her birthday month, so she picked the book. And it's good, it's interesting, it's just long. And I'm like literally in, so it starts off and it has this really long like preface or introduction, which is actually really interesting. And it goes in and it talks about him, like this killing that he does, that he's hit. So apparently he was the, I don't know if I think he's been executed. I remember like there being some interview that Oprah did or somebody did, or there was like an HBO special that was like 3 days with him or something. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I'm sure it's, people are gonna, as soon as I say this, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, did you watch this? Did you watch that? So I'm gonna watch that stuff if I get the book done in time. And I remember watching like maybe a little bit of it, and he was just really cold-hearted, obviously. And he talks about in there, like, knowing that there was something wrong or different with him, but he didn't know how he had gotten that way. When you read some of the book, it's interesting, though, like, his dad was super abusive and hit he and his brother and his mom, and he hit his little brother, or I guess his older brother. So this is like when they were like, Richard was like 5 at the time. He hit him so hard that his brother died. And they told people that he had like fallen down the stairs. So, you know, not that that makes a serial killer, but the author does say something to the effect of taking any human emotional qualities from him at a young age. But it opens with him doing this like grotesque killing that he's being paid. He was, I don't know if it was, I would say the highest paid, or like every crime family in the East Coast was having him do their hits, if that makes sense. So he was like the largest hitman for basically organized crime on the East Coast. And he worked for like the Gambino family and all these different families, and so they would just like, you know, pay him to do a hit. And he didn't really know anything about the people, the marks, quote unquote, that he killed, or he didn't want to know anything about them. It was just a job to him. But this first one, he gets paid $10,000, but if the guy suffers $20,000. I mean, you know what's weird about this is like when you're reading it, because I read so much fiction, is it like it doesn't play off like it's real, but then you're like, this really happened, you know? And then he lets this guy, or he doesn't let this guy, he has this guy get eaten alive by rats in this cave. And he sets up cameras so that he can like show it to his like person that what happened. I'm gonna try Tanya's. She got a Coke. I had the Impossible Burger at Red Robin, and then we all shared a big thing of, they have like these big stacks, you know. I say Whopper, I meant burger. I had the Impossible Burger, and then we all shared a big stack. They have these fries here that are like the bottomless basket of fries, and they're like steak fries. I don't love them. I didn't like hardly eat mine at all. But then they have these sauces that you dip the onion rings in, and oh my god, the sauces are so good. They have like this Chipotle, like ranch kind of stuff. So there's that. Yeah, but the book is good. The book is interesting. I have to listen to like an hour a day, which I'm already behind. I don't know actually where I'm at on it. Oh man. I'm trying to think of where I was. Okay, I think I'm actually at like, I'm like at it. I've like listened to like an hour and a half. I think at this point, maybe an hour and 20 minutes. And it's 19 hours and like 20 minutes or 18 minutes long or something like that. I'll get it done. It's interesting. You know, as much as I drive around, like, if for one day I didn't talk on the phone or whatever, I could literally get a book done in a day, you know? The thing is, I talk so much on the phone, and I like to listen to music, and, so whereas I could be listening to a book like 3 hours a day, you know? I know like a lot of people, like when they're doing like chores around the house, they like have it on in the background. And there's no rush for it for me, you know, like that's the other thing is I want to enjoy it, like actually, you know, sit and just kind of listen to it and enjoy it and things like that when I'm listening to an audiobook. So there's no huge rush to me, you know. My leg hurts. It was hurting last night, do you remember that? Well, it still kind of like hurts today, but not as bad. I would say if last night was on like, was at like, well, let's just be realistic about the pain. If last night was at like a 7, 6.5, I'm trying to be realistic on a scale of 10. If last night was like a 6, 7.5, because it hurt pretty bad, I would say today is at like a 3, but it still is like this dull aching pain. I don't know what it is, it's weird. Okay, I had to change my battery, and I'm literally like, this crossroad out in the middle of nowhere, and my battery died, and I am really, to be honest with you, not having it, that I had to stop out here. But there's really nowhere else for me to stop, and change the battery, so I was like, okay, I have to do it out here in the middle of nowhere. But what was I talking about before I did that? Oh yeah, I was talking about my leg. Yeah, I don't really know what happened with my leg. Like, I think I slept on it wrong. Like right now, I mean, it's still like there's still dull pain there, right? Do I still have coffee left? No, I have like maybe just a little bit in there. But I still have like a dull pain, but it's nothing like it was last night. Last night it hurt so bad. God, it's so hot in here. It's either hot or it's either hot or it's cold. Tanya got in the car tonight and she was like, she always gets in now and she thinks she's so special because she like turns on the seat heater or the heated seats, and she like tries to figure out how to do it all on her own, and then she gets real excited when she does it. She looks at me and she's like laughing. But then she turns the heat on her side. I keep it synced on either side, so it's like the same, you know? She gets in and she like shoots her side up to like 80. And I go, Tanya, it's gonna get really hot in here. And she goes, just let me do what I wanna do. And I go, okay. And then like 2 minutes later, of course, it was so hot in here. And she goes, Peter, why did you turn the heat up so high? But anyway, I just think maybe I slept on it wrong or something. You know, like sometimes when you like sleep with your arm and it's like this or something, and you wake up and you're like, ow! It was like that. Speaking of which, I just remembered that I had these really bizarre dreams tonight. And I like woke up and I fell back asleep and was having the same dream. That is so weird. So it was like the end of like my very last day of high school. This dream is so weird. It was like the very last day of high school, but I don't even know how to make sense of this to explain it. But like my high school, like the walls were the walls of the house that I grew up in. And so like my mom had a lot of artwork in the walls of the house that I grew up in. So I had to like go back. Like we had this big like graduation, like assembly, but it wasn't like a graduation. It was like this big assembly. And then after that, like me and my friends, we all like left. But it was like friends of mine today. It wasn't like friends of mine from high school. And I had to come back at night. And I was like real scared to come back to the school by myself, but I had to. And there were like other people like there getting their stuff too. Like the stuff that they had like, you know, while they were there all those years. And I was just carrying out, like, these paintings that my mom had, and I was, like, stacking them in my car. And I was like, they're not going to fit in my car. I'm going to have to keep on coming back. But I was taking them to my new house, which was my dad's house, which is so weird, right? And I was, like, carrying the paintings over to my dad's house. And, or driving them over to my dad's house. But, like, my dad didn't live in the house anymore. I did. Like, that was my house now. And I was, like, carrying my mom's paintings in and putting them on my dad's walls. It's so weird. And then I was, like, walking down this pier. And it was like this really, really like high, like long pier. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the pier that we just walked down in San Diego. But it was like bigger and taller. It looked really tall. And on one side, people were fishing. And on the other side, and there were like whales hopping out of the water. And the water was really high and going up and down and really choppy. And on one, like you could see whales and stuff like that. And you could see stuff moving underneath the water. And I kept on thinking it was sharks. And somebody like threw me, like, so on one side they were fishing and on the other side they were like jumping in and they were doing like these tricks and stuff, these people, and I didn't know any of these people. And like somebody threw me way out in the water and I was like swimming back in, and it's like the water would raise and then you had to like jump out onto, like, that was the only way you could get out of the water, was if it, like, when it got real high, it would like level with like the top of the pier, and then you had to like jump out and like you were on the pier. And I knew, like there was, like, sharks chasing me. You know, I'm scared to death of sharks. And, we were talking about sharks at dinner tonight. I bet that's why that was. And so, anyway, then I was walking down, I got back up on this pier, and I was walking down this pier, and people were like, did you get everything from school? And I was like, oh, these are people that I went to school with. But I didn't recognize any of them. And so I was like, I have to go back to school. And that was like when I like woke up the first time, and then I fell like back asleep. And I like fell back asleep like right at the same place that I had been like dreaming. Where I like woke up, like fell back asleep and picked up the dream right where I had been dreaming before. And then I went back to the school and I was like getting more paintings. And I was trying to get everything that I possibly could out of the school. That's interesting. That's an interesting analogy. I'm real big into like dreams and stuff like that. It just was so vivid in my... I was like scared in my dream. I don't know why. I was like scared of like being at the school by myself. What's weird about the school is that it was the parking lot of my school, which is not even the parking lot of the school anymore. The school's completely changed. But it was the parking lot of my school, but it wasn't my school. Yeah, so I had this real weird dream. And then I woke up and I was like, okay. Now I'm kind of awake. This is what always happens to me. Is that then I wake up and I'm like, okay, now I'm awake. But like I said, I probably won't vlog for a super long time. I think I'm like... I can't even see how long I've been vlogging now. It doesn't matter. I think I've been vlogging for like a half an hour or something. I'm so upset with myself that I didn't post that vlog earlier. Well, I guess people that live in my time zone will wake up to get to listen to a vlog if they want to. It's just such a long vlog, you know? When I started vlogging, I've talked about this a couple times on here. My vlogs were literally like 10 or 15 minutes. And then I don't even know really what happened. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look. But my first couple months, like, they were short. Like, they were, you know, not long. And then one night I went like a half an hour or 40 minutes. And then they started progressively getting a little bit longer. And then I did one that was like an hour and a half. And there were like a lot of people that really enjoyed it. And they were like, oh my God, I can't believe that you vlogged for so long. I love this. And so now I try to kind of like aim at like 45 minutes or an hour every day. Because I feel like that's the length of a vlog, that, or not a vlog, a podcast. If you're going to just, I know a lot of people just put this on in the background and just listen to it. And so I feel like for a lot of people, if like you're just listening to it while you're getting ready or whatever, like you can just put it on in the background and listen to it, you know? But it didn't start that way. It started being just like, it was going to just show everything in my life throughout the day, which I think, like, you know, I know there are a lot of vloggers that do that, but in all honesty, my day is so boring. I mean, it really is. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to show me going through Starbucks every day, and I'm going to show me, you know what I mean? Like, it's just boring. It's just not exciting. And, so we don't need to do all that. You know what I mean? We don't need to do all that. Although yesterday I did show like going into the mire and things like that. I don't know, maybe some people like it. And, you know, it's interesting, like whenever I like kind of like go away from the sitting in the car driving, there's a lot of you guys out there that are like, oh, I missed the car rides and the talking and stuff like that. And I think it's just, you know, I'm not under the assumption that I think this channel is ever going to have, you know, 100,000 or 1 million subscribers, and that I'm going to get like, you know, 100,000 views a video. I mean, probably for the eternity that I do this channel, I will get the same amount of views that I'm getting right now. And I'm fine with that, you know, and I know that. I would love for it to grow, you know, I would love for other people to find it and be like, oh my God, I really enjoy this and I love listening to it and stuff like that. But I'm not under the illusion that I think that that's going to happen, because for like the last year and a half, 2 years, it's been kind of the same numbers on every video. So I think what happens is people listen for a while, then they go away, and then they come back. I think some people consistently have listened from the very beginning. I think some people go back and they start listening to the older ones, and then they work their way through. You know, I think it just depends. But I think like when I go and I look at the videos, it's literally like every day. It's like most videos get about 3,000 views after, let's say, you know, 2 days of them being up. Which is crazy to me that there are 3,000 people out there that are listening to me drive around in a car and talk about my life, you know? Like, that's crazy to me. I think if it was shorter, I think if my vlogs were like, you know, 10 to 15 minutes long every day, and it was me showing, you know, stupid stuff about my life, and, you know, walking into a restaurant with Tanya and everybody and whatever. But like the other thing is being sober. It's like, and also having a lot of people that don't want to, like, you know, my dad and my stepmom are so private and whatever. It's just like, there's not a lot of people that I can show in a 10 to 15 minute vlog. So it's still a 10 to 15 minute vlog of like just Peter, you know what I mean? And I do think that like a channel, like if you're gonna do like a vlog channel or something, I would definitely suggest, if you're really that concerned with the subscriber count and views, probably doing something shorter, because I think that people's attention span. But I have to tell you, it's really interesting. So you can go into the back end of your analytics, you know, when you're on like YouTube, and it's like the YouTube creator on, you can get the app, or you can also go in just like when you sign into YouTube, and it'll show you like how many people like are watching, well, of course, you know, like the views, but it'll show you like how long they listen to each video, what the average is that they're listening to on each specific video. It'll go in and tell you that, right? it'll even tell you demographically, like where they come from or where they came from to watch that video. Did it come from like you posting it here, or you know, like did it come from just the subscribers, or did it come from people Google searching it or whatever, right? And what's interesting is that my vlogs, you know, are 45 minutes to an hour and a half every day, right? And people listen to almost the entirety of this vlog. Like, the majority listen to almost the entirety of this vlog. But take like a 15 to 20 minute drama video that I do, and the average duration of a viewer is way down. It's like, I've tried to be making them shorter because I don't think people's attention is that long for me to share my thoughts about something for 23 minutes. Because it's down, it's low, it's like, you know, well, it's not down, I mean, it's for me, it's average to what they've been listening to, but they listen to like 10 to like, you know, 14 minutes. So if I'm making a 23-minute video, who am I making the last, you know, 10 minutes for, you know? I mean, some people enjoy watching all the way through, but the majority, it would say, isn't. But what's interesting is that, like, on this channel and on my Peterisms channel, I haven't looked at my BookTube channel, so I don't even know, but the average duration of a video is almost like 100% of what the video is, which is crazy to me. So even though I don't get a crazy amount of views over here, which I don't expect, that I'm going to have tons and tons and tons of people that are going to listen to an hour of my life every day, right? But the reality is the majority of the people that do watch this channel, like you guys out there, are listening to the entirety of the vlog, which is crazy, you know? I can't believe it's almost November. I have to say, though, I think I talked about this on here the other day. I'm kind of ready for Christmas. I know this sounds crazy. I just am. Like, I feel like I did a lot for Halloween. I feel like, and I kind of feel like it started with Horror Hound weekend, even though that wasn't Halloween-y. I feel like it kind of started with that. I've watched a lot of Halloween movies. I always have one playing on in the background. Today I was watching the new Halloween movie. And I actually thought it was, the one that I was watching, I actually thought it was the, what do you call it? Oh shoot. I cannot think of his name, but I just saw that he has a new movie out on DVD too. Why can't I think of his name? My friend is like friends with him. His wife's name is like Monn or something. Did House of a Thousand Corpses. Rob Zombie. So, did you know Rob Zombie has a new movie out? And I think it's like, so it went House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects, and then I think it's like they got arrested in Devil's Rejects, but I thought they got killed at the end. But it's like the three of them just got out of jail, and now they're like on this like rampage. So I want to see that. It's called like Hell's 3 or something like that, or 3 from Hell or something like that. But I want to see that. So this was actually the Halloween that I was watching tonight that I had on in the background, was the new one with Jamie Lee Curtis that Melissa and I actually reviewed, I think last year. Do you know Jamie Lee Curtis? And, well, I think the whole Halloween franchise has like 2 new movies coming out, like 2020, 2021, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, that was fun. Watch out today, but I mean, I just feel like I've done so much stuff that's like Halloween-y. I've had like all the I've had all the Halloween drinks. I've had all the Halloween foods. I've tried, you know, I put on some weight this Halloween, and I'm just like, I'm ready for Christmas. I'm ready for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I can't see what the time is on that clock. That went quick. But yeah, I'm just ready to like have it start getting cold and get excited about. I'm really in the mood for Christmas this year. I don't know why. But I feel like I did almost everything that I wanted to do for Halloween. There were a few things that I wanted to do that I didn't do, but the thing is that when, you know, the Halloween season comes, and then it's like, okay, we want to do this, we want to do that, and it's like getting everybody's schedules, you know, connected so that you can do all of these things, is hard on a weekend when you literally have, like, you know, one weekend, or you have, like, you know, 3 or 4 weekends and one night on the weekend, because it's not like, okay, on a Friday you want to go to the hayride and on a Saturday you want to go to this, you know what I mean? Or most people don't. And so it's hard to get people invested or involved to do a lot on the weekends. Because I would have liked to have gone to the Conner Prairie hayride where they do, what do you call it? The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I would have liked to have done that. I would have liked to have done Hannah's Haunted Acres. Although Tanya went the other night, or went last weekend. I didn't go to a Halloween party. I went to 2 Halloween parties, though. Tanya went and she said it was really, really scary. She took the girls from the kennel. I just rubbed my eye and now my contact is blurry. Okay, there, it's better. So yeah, there's that, and then I still haven't talked to Liliana about when the kids are going trick-or-treating. But I love Halloween. I mean, I really, really do. I'm just, you know, I participated in a spookathon. I read a couple books. I listened to some scary books this month. I don't know what it is. I've been real homey lately too, like, you know, wanting to kind of nest, and like I think with like buying the new bedding and all of that, you know, and I've been like wanting to just kind of like relax around the house and rest and have the candles lit, and I need to get a chimney sweep to come, and I think they painted over our chimney thing. Because, like, the one time that we lit a fire in the fireplace, it was like, I had, like, the flue open, which some people call, like, the damper, or what people call it, different things. But anyway, I had the flue open, and it wasn't, like, it was clogged or something. It was, like, it immediately, like, just kind of, like, it's never done that before, ever, in, like, all of my years. Like, I mean, I literally grew up, every house I had, we had fires all the time. My mother always had a fire going in one of, if not both, fireplaces. My dad, when I was growing up, I mean, my dad, he had a fireplace in his, still has a fireplace in his bedroom at the end of his bed, a huge fireplace. My dad had a fireplace in the kitchen. The fireplace in the kitchen was going all the time, literally, like, in the winter, like, 24 hours a day. And, it was this huge brick fireplace. It was really cool. He always wanted to have a fireplace in his kitchen. And I love having a fireplace, and we haven't used it. We didn't use it last year, and because of that. And I just, like, then I forgot to have somebody come out. And then the year after, or the year before, I just never used it. So I want to get the chimney fixed, and then I want to get a bunch of firewood so that we can have fires this winter. PP was acting crazy today. I don't know if, like, now he's kind of used to the colder weather, and so the weather is, like, good for him, or what, but he was, like, he was out in the yard, and he was being all silly. And then, like, I was like, come on, you guys. Like, sometimes when they're, like, out there forever and I can't get them to come in, I'll be like, come on, you guys, let's go have treats. And PP just acted like he didn't hear what I had to say. And Boo Radley, of course, Tucker was already on the patio. Tucker literally goes out and he potties, and then he comes right back upstairs onto the patio. He, like, can't be bothered to be out there. He doesn't like to walk around and stuff. But Boo Radley, like, Boo follows PP all around, but when I said treats, Boo Radley was like, oh my Lord, treats, I can't even hardly imagine that for 2 seconds, right? Oh, it's gonna stop pulling. So Boo Radley was like, treats, oh my God, I gotta have them, right? And so he comes, he like looked at me and then he went, and like took off for the deck, and he came running up on the deck. So PP kept on like, looking at me, or he kept on looking ahead, and he was like, just kept on walking. I was like, come on, PP. I go, don't you want treats? And he just kept on walking, and I go, PP? And he stopped, and I go, there will be no treats, PP. And he looked at me, and he like took off like for the deck. It was real cute. And then he was chasing his brothers around tonight, like on the bed and stuff, being silly. He's so sweet, little guy. Radley's like hair is growing out a little bit. Well, Tucker's is too, but Tucker's is starting to stand up like how it was when he was a puppy. And so Boo Radley's is like starting to grow out, you know, because like we got them like cut so short, and so his face is getting a little fuller now, and it's so cute. And so he'll look at me, and I'll say something, and his ears will start like perking up. And I don't remember them doing it in the past, because this is like, we have not had them cut this short, and I don't even remember the last time. I think one time when we did it ourselves, they were this short. But other than that, I don't remember it. I like them shorter. And I definitely think they're more comfortable shorter. The other day, Alex was sitting in the chair, and we watched like some show, and he had moved from like the couch to the chair. And he was sitting there, I can't remember what he was watching, but I was doing something on the computer, and he goes, look. He goes, hey. He was like, Peter, look. And he was laying back, and Tucker was like over here with like his head like on his like back like this. PP was on the other side, like curled into him, and Boo Radley was literally like up his chest, and so Boo Radley was like this. And Alex would go, oh, Boo Radley, this is just a lot. It's just a lot. Because he had like climbed up his chest. And when he would say Boo Radley's name, Boo Radley would go. And he would put his head back down. And Alex was laughing. He thought it was so cute. Oh, it was right after we had watched American Horror Story last week. That show's weird, like, for me this season. Like, last year, what was last year? Armageddon. Is that what it was called? I'm just kind of not into the American Horror Story as much as I used to be. I don't know. I like the whole concept and the idea of American Horror Story, and I'll forever watch it and whatever. But you know what I realized was the other day, because we're watching them now like a week late. Like I just do not even have the energy to watch it the night that it comes out. Which back in the day, like with Coven and all of those, I was like, let's watch it tonight. You know, like we were right there watching it. I'm just not that excited. I mean, it just is, I don't know. It needs to turn or get exciting or something. But, so I watched, maybe it wasn't called Armageddon. What was the last one called? I don't remember. Apocalypse. So I watched that one. Armageddon. Last season, I guess, you know, kind of something. But I watched that one, and we watched it all the way through. But you know the one before, that was about the election or whatever, I still to this day have not finished that season. And I have finished every season of American Horror Story. I think I have 2 episodes left of that season, and I still haven't finished them. And I don't know that I ever will. I don't know that I remember what's going on now in that season, so I would have to like go back and watch a couple episodes. But that was like when Evan Peters was real weird. I don't even remember what that season was called. But like that was to me like the worst season ever. I hated it. I think that might have been the first season that Billy Lord was in it. I don't remember. Why can't I remember what that season was called? Probably because it had no impact on me whatsoever. And you know, Hotel wasn't one of my favorite seasons either with Lady Gaga. But I think I was so interested to see Lady Gaga every week. And they've had a lot of seasons now, haven't they? And I just, you know, some of the things that they did with the hotel concept I thought was really cool. And I also like that, and this is like Alex's favorite, is when they play off past seasons. So I like that they played off of past seasons. And then the one that they did that Alex really didn't like, but it was about the reality show. I actually really liked that season. Why can't I think? Roanoke. It was called Roanoke. I really liked that season. I thought that season was good. But this season is just like, I don't know. It's just okay. That's so weird. I can't remember what that one was called that year. I'm going to pull in here and see what it was called. The first year season was like Murder House, but I think that was just called American Horror Story. And then it was the hospital one. What was that called? I liked that season. I thought it ended really weird, but I liked it. It was well done. What was that one called? Why can't I think? It starts with an A. I can see it in my head. Did it start with an A? Asylum. And then the third one was that Coven. Coven was my favorite. Murder House kind of scared me, in all honesty. I thought Murder House was the scariest. Okay. No, while I'm talking about this, let me lock my door so I don't get scared. Oh, this is interesting because Alex said it doesn't. How American Horror Story 1984 connects to every season of American Horror Story. Oh, that's interesting. Here it is. American Horror Story Wikipedia. Okay, 9 seasons. The first season retroactively subtitled Murder House. I wonder what happened to that one girl that was in all of them too. I liked her. Like, some of the cast has changed. Okay, so Murder House was the first one, Asylum, and Coven. Freak Show. I did not love Freak Show. I didn't think it was interesting. And it got really weird with the clown and stuff like that. I didn't love it. And then Hotel, Roanoke, Cult. That's what it was called. And then Apocalypse, and then 1984. And it goes in through here and describes every single one of them. Oh well. Dream. It doesn't feel like a Friday night. And you know what? When we went to the restaurant tonight, it didn't feel like a Friday night. It was kind of like dead in the restaurant. Because we thought, like, we weren't going to be able to find a place to eat, you know? At, like, what time was it? Like, 8:39 on a Friday night. And, we had, like, no problem. Like, everywhere we went, it was like, well, I guess that because we drove by Chewy's. When we drove by Chewy's, it was, but it wasn't packed. I mean, there was, like, parking spaces. Red Robin they had no problem getting us in. Tanya got clam chowder and she wanted crackers, and she was like, kept on asking if they had crackers, and she said to the waitress, she was like, do you guys really not have crackers? And she's like, no, we really don't. And she was like, but you have soup. She was like, but I don't have crackers. And her friend was like a waitress forever, and she's like, well, if I was the manager of this restaurant, we would have crackers. Tanya's like, I just think it's so strange that they don't have crackers for their clam chowder. I'm like, oh my God. But it was fun. I really wanted to read that book. What's it called? It's the one by the rapper guy Logic. It's called Supermarket. I mean, it's not like it doesn't have to be read during Halloween time, but I heard it was really good, so I'm thinking I might start reading that. Because I bought it to take on some trip. What trip did I take it on? I can't even remember now. Did I take it for Las Vegas or to San Diego? I think I took it for San Diego. Dream. So still out tonight. Well, listen, I don't really have a whole lot more to talk about tonight. So I think tomorrow I'm gonna tomorrow I'll just kind of vlog throughout the day. So yeah, I'll vlog throughout the day and show you guys everything that's going on. And yeah, and so I'm gonna get off here now. Now, I would like to know how you guys would like me to end this vlog. I got a comment and somebody said, you know, that the way that it is at this point kind of seems like it's disingenuous and whatever. But then other people always say, thank you for that last I love you or whatever. So I don't know. I don't really know how to end it anymore. So I'll just talk at the end, I guess. And that's just how I'll end it. But like, still kind of say what I say. I don't know. I don't know what to do with the ending anymore. I get stuck into like a pattern and then I don't know what to do to end it, you know, or to change it. Like it's like with my intro on my Peter Monn channel, some people are like, change it, and then other people are like, if you ever change it, I won't know what to do. And so it's like, do I change it, do I not change it? I get mixed reviews, you know. I mean, I don't have any problem changing the ending of the outro on here, so. But anyway, I hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, do not have other plans. Enjoy today. Make the most of it. And then sincerely, I mean that, you know. It's like, I think sometimes we get out of the norm and we start thinking, we take hours and minutes and days for granted, and then, you know, the next thing we know, we're like, well, where did, you know, October go? And that's why I'm really glad that I can look back on the Halloween season this year and I can say, you know, I did a lot of the things that I wanted to do. I don't want to take life for granted. I want to enjoy my life. So you do the same. You're exchanging a day of your life for it. And I like to try to be an example of that as well, you know. And if nobody else has told you this today, but like I said, do something, you know, that will make you proud when you look back. Something that you'll be like, oh, I'm really happy that I did this day, you know, things like that. Memories. We're creating memories. It's like trying to remember the other words to that song, and why can't I think of it now? Watercolor memories of the way. My mom loved that song and that movie so much. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Look at yourself in the mirror every single day and say, I love you. You are valuable. You have a value and importance. Validate yourself every single day. to your daily affirmations. It was weird. I did my daily affirmations today, and I always at the end of it, I asked myself, like, are you ready to start your day? And so I got to the end of my meditations and or my affirmations and meditations and prayers and all that stuff this morning, and I say to myself out loud, I'm like, are you ready to start your day? And I said, it was my immediate response in my head was, and I was like, I'm not ready yet. Like, and I wasn't, like, I didn't feel off. I didn't feel negative. I didn't feel anything. I just was not ready to, like, pick up the phone and start engaging in the day. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm just not there yet. Sometimes I just need to kind of keep on enjoying the silence for a while and just sitting in the moment. And I'm really practicing that, like, sitting in the moment of silence. Oh, shoot. Like, I know I've already ended this vlog, but I want to say this really quick. Because I don't think I talked about it. So, last night, after I got home, you know, took the dogs out, stuff like that, and I'm looking through my Audible, and there's this new book that came out, and I don't remember what the book is called. It's by, I think, like, Riley somebody, maybe. But the book is about, it's a self-help book. If I remember to find it, I'll find it and tell you guys what it is. I screenshot it in my phone and put it in my wish list, but it's this book about this guy that did this, like, research looking into the importance of silence. And what's so weird about this was I was talking about this in my video yesterday about why I choose not to live in chaos anymore. And he cited certain people that, like, were at the top of their game for what they did. This one guy that was, like, the best all-time, I don't know, something in baseball, and then somebody else that was, like, did something, I can't, each of these, oh, and Anne Frank, and all these different people, and, like, how they had used silence and patience, and just, like, practicing silence and patience to remove distraction from their life. And it was so, what I have really felt in my heart and hearts in the last year was about staying still, staying silent, staying in the moment, being present, to remove the distractions of the world around me, the chaos, the toxicity, so that I can enjoy my life and get the most out of it, you know, and also be of service to others, and in return give that back to others, you know. And I was like, this is so crazy that I was just talking about this today. I was like, this is like a God moment thing. I was supposed to see this book, so I'm thinking about getting that book and reading it. But anyway, like I said, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you validate that for yourself every single day by looking in the mirror and saying, I love you, you are important, you are important. And most importantly, make sure that you pass it on to somebody else and let them know that they are important to you and validate their existence. And also, why don't we all try to do I said one with a D on the end of it. One kind thing today. One true kind thing today. And here's the other. Are you ready? And you don't get to tell anybody either, okay? So you don't go do something nice and then go home and tell your husband or your wife, okay, or your daughter or best friend. You just go do it, and then you shut your mouth about it. That's how good acts should be. We shouldn't be doing them to tell people, right? Every time I do something nice, I always want to tell. I always want to tell somebody and be like, oh my God, let me tell you, like, what a great person I am. This is what I did today. But do it and then try not to, oh my God, that Starbucks is packed. Do it and try not to tell anybody. And do one true kind thing today. So anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!